What a week for crypto. So many airdrop tokens breaking all-time highs, so many token claims this week, and we are only getting started. Let's jump straight in. However, before everything, super important update on crypto safety. On September 8th, there was a massive exploit of the reputable developer in the crypto space, and potentially over 1 billion downloaded assets could have been at risk. Of course, at this point, everything has been more or less secured. However, it is still recommended if you're moving a larger amount of funds to verify if the project in question has been affected, because most of the projects are already verified that everything is safe. But still, if you're moving a lot of funds, definitely check if this exploit has been under control for the specific project. Now, on to airdrop news, starting with Avantis Foundation that just had its TGE a couple hours ago. We had a main perpetuals DEX on base with over $20 billion in volume with their token, and we were presented with a very interesting choice. First of all, over 65,000 wallets were eligible for airdrop number one, and you can check all the details about your eligibility and tokenomics in their official blog post. For now, let's just go really quickly how it looked like. We've had, of course, a 12.5% of total supply for airdrop number one, and it was split 80-20 from trading experience to liquidity experience. A little bit extra went from wall chain blockers, so people who were posting about Avantis, and ecosystem partners getting also a small share. The most interesting decision was, are we going to be locking our tokens for the first 18 hours after TGE, of course reducing selling pressure, to claim extra 35% boost for people who staked in the first 12 hours. So it was a very time sensitive and decisive decision. You had to be there in the moment to decide, because you still have to unstake if you plan to sell. And the faster you lock them, the faster your unstake period begins. So what we can expect by the time you're watching this video, the unlocks will probably soon be coming, and people who plan to take some risk off the table will probably be selling their allocations. So around the 2 p.m. UTC plus 18, so around 8 a.m. on September 10th, we might be experiencing some selling pressure on the Avantis token, assuming that people decide to take risk off the table. As you can see on the price action, trading began 1 hour before the actual claim, and when the claim started, of course, it down by 50%, but now it seems to be making some kind of recovery. So we will see very soon if this token has a future. As mentioned before, it is the main perpetuals DEX on base, so maybe if the team delivers with their intricate new functionalities like zero-fee perpetuals and others, there might be something here. We will see, time will tell, and nothing in this video is of course financial advice. However, if you're seeing this after September 12th, you will still be able to unstake and have a cooldown period of 3 days instead of 18 hours. At the moment of recording the video, we have staking APR of just over 15% and total staked is 40 million. So that would be about 20% of current circulating supply according to CoinGecko. And when you decide to sell, there is some liquidity on Airdrop. Of course, Jumper will always try to aggregate you the best route possible. And of course, there are several centralized exchange options available, such as BitGet, Bybit, Gate.io, Mexi, and many others. However, there is also Binance listing, which is for some reason not mentioned on CoinGecko. And the thesis behind this might be that since it's the main DEX on base, it's still not listed on Coinbase. Therefore, maybe when it gets listed, if it gets listed in short to mid-term, there might be some serious bump happening. And finally, being terminally on-chain has its advantages. For example, you will manage to spot a serious discrepancy in prices on some centralized exchanges, such as Bybit, BitGet, Mexi, and others. For example, you could get Avantis for 0.22 on these exchanges, which, of course, the caveat is they have suspended withdrawals, meaning that the instant arbitrage is obviously not there, causing price discrepancy. You can buy for 0.22, sell for 0.32 on DEX or Binance. However, this is not going to be instant because withdrawals are not enabled right now. However, if you do believe that you have enough time to withdraw and sell, if you can sell above 0.22, then it is definitely worthwhile to take this trade. Of course, it is very risky. The token can dump immediately. It's been a new launch and you should never risk more than you're willing to lose. But being in the game, being in the zone, talking with people in real time is what gives you an edge in crypto, just like always. Of course, this is just one of the opportunity. We have many different topics to discuss in our private community all the time. For example, platform shutdowns, time-sensitive information until September 10th. You will still be able to withdraw your funds from LogX even after September 10th, but it's going to be a pain. So ideally, you want to do this before deadline if you have funds there. All of this information is available to you if you wish to join. There is a subscriptions tab that you can find in the first link of every video to give you an edge in this final stages, maybe, of bull market. You really don't have an excuse not to provide yourself with the best information alpha in real time. Monthly yearly plans, airdrop tracking application, all at your disposal, and of course the NFT collection generating you 5 to 10% in passive income. We have some major updates for this for you in the coming days. After September 11th, there's going to be some great news. We look forward to updating you as soon as possible. All right, another token that's been on an absolute tear today has been Kaito, going from $1 to 150 in a matter of hours. As for the platform itself, they've recently added the email option to back up your account if you ever lose access to your X account, and you know that Elon goes crazy every once in a while with anti-bot filtering. This could be a great way to keep your account and assets safe. All right, back to our claims. We have LINEA probably already live by the time you're watching this video. And of course, there is an extra meme coin that is being dropped in accordance to your LINEA airdrop allocation called some ETH. Jumping into Solana ecosystem, we have Switchboard token generation event as well, and claims are live. 23% is going to core development team, initial contributors get 25%, and most importantly, ecosystem growth 26%, with 10% reserved for TGE airdrop, 16% protocol rewards and incentives. There is also allocation for Fragmetric users, and you can check your allocation on Fragmetric Restake rewards. All information is, of course, in their documentation, official docs, and most importantly, a lot of the Solana network is actually using Switchboard as their oracle. So you might be eligible if you've interacted with many different Solana dApps. So definitely check your wallet and make sure to claim any allocation. And speaking of airdrop checkers and eligibility, recently Jupiter Portfolio page has added a Solana airdrop eligibility page, and depending how many JUP tokens you have staked, you'll be able to check many wallets at the same time. Of course, we have Jupiter coming up in 2026, so be on the lookout for a very, very nice 3-in-1 with Jupiter Land coming up in near future. And last Solana claim for today is coming from BackWoods. They've just had their Leaf TGE as well, and this went as expected. It has giga dumped from, of course, levels of about 20 million in market cap down to all the way around 4 or 5 million in market cap. It was a small indie Solana game, very fun, but TGE went pretty much as planned. I hope you sold in time, and if you believe this game has a future, I'm not gonna tell you to buy right now, but it does seem like doesn't want to go any lower. If it's ever going to go up, are there better opportunities? Probably, but just something to consider. Their NFTs are still ongoing on Tensor, so if you want to trade those, give it a go. Just remember, this is hugely volatile, small cap. And saving the best for last, we have Hyperliquid Omega smashing previous all-time high at $55 today. Of course, now it's already retracing because Bitcoin decided to poop at 113. But most importantly, there's a very good reason behind this. They are creating their own USDH native stablecoin as a platform that did 400 billion in volume in 2024. You can imagine that the demand for who's going to be the sole issuer for this stablecoin is huge. So we have people from Paxos, Agora, Frax, Sky, and others all competing, making their wildly bullish proposals, how they're going to be competing for this prestigious spot. By September 10th, all proposals will be in. By September 14th, we're going to have a winner. And of course, this has been incredibly positive for Hyperliquid's price action over the last couple of days. Of course, I will leave all the links for this for you to further study in much more detail. We'll have a lot more clarity after September 10th, aka today. But in short, this is very, very good for price action. Some people are already calling $100 Hyperliquid. Let's calm down a bit, but top 10 by the end of the year is not unlikely. Finally, nice doing on with Rabbi and Hyperliquid. They've integrated with their functionality to add Rabbi perks, and you can trade up to 40x leverage on 100 markets directly in Rabbi wallet. And for everyone who watched until the end, secret alpha coming from HyperAVM ecosystem, there is a perpetuals DEX called Based that is absolutely smashing all revenues and fees. And they've actually executed a very good airdrop just a couple days ago. They have season 2 going until September 20th, and we only have around 10k traders for this one. So it is definitely worthwhile to build some volume, get experience, and maybe replicate season 1 success. And that is a wrap for all the updates for today. If you like content, make sure to like and subscribe, bell notifications on. Any questions, comments, waiting for you in the comment section below and in our Discord. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time, have an amazing day.